And I'm Marlene Foster with Empower Vision. And today's guest will be Sarah Willoughby. And Sarah is a best-selling author, transformation coach, and she's got a story for you today, and one that I have been wowed by. You know, I always write about writers who wow, and so we'll be talking today to an author. Believe me, that I'm going to really have a really nice conversation with today, and her book is her book is Infertility Saved My Life. And you know what I love about that? Listen to the name of Infertility Saved My Life. She's telling you right there something. There was a time that she's going to tell you in her story where she actually turned fear around, guys, and decided that she was going to move forward and not only just change her life, but change the life of others. And to get started today, I wanted to share with you something that one of the readers wrote about Sarah, and I thought this was amazing. And she said that Sarah's writing is impactful, thoughtful, and thoughtfully inspiring. Sarah Willoughby has written more than a story, inspiring hope. Infertility Saved My Life contains transformative tools, exercises, and insight that can be applied to your life right now. She says Sarah's commitment to supporting others to welcome a healthy baby into the world, along with her emphasis on the power of mind, body, spirit, connection, makes her book both accessible and inspiring. Sarah, that's deep. Thank you. And thank you for being here with us today. Thank you for joining us. And I just wanted to start by asking you, could you just tell us a little bit about your fascinating family and the three, children that you have, and tell us what it's like living in Australia versus the UK. I had to ask.
Oh, absolutely. My pleasure. And thank you so much for having me on today. So I have three beautiful children. They are 17, a son called Isaac, and then I have a daughter, Maddie, who's 12, and another daughter, Grace, who's 8. So we're going through all ages and stages. We're teaching my son to drive, and we're still at tea parties and dancing. So we're going through, it all. And they are my biggest blessings, my greatest teachers. They inspire me to do what I do. I do this for them, and they are obviously a big part of my story. And I moved to Australia from the UK back in 2009. That's a big part of my story, which we can obviously go into. But I moved here because it's a little bit warmer, Marlene, than the UK. It doesn't rain as much. And I am very, very connected to the outdoors. And here I have so many beautiful beaches on my doorstep. I can drive for half an hour and there's just countryside everywhere. And I feel like I've come home. And I have such gratitude for that, because I appreciate that not everybody is so privileged as I am to be able to experience the great outdoors every single day.
Sarah, see that, you know what? And then from reading, looking at your profile and everything, so you just let me know that your children are old. So when your book, though, is talking about years ago, correct? About what happened to you. Could you tell us your story? You went from working with a corporation and you went from there to your own business. Tell us your story, Sarah.
Sure. So I was doing what I thought was the life that was expected of me. I want to start there. I was living a life by other people's expectations. I had done all the things. I'd gone to school, a very good school. I'd gone on to university. That was the natural step. I spent 6 years studying at university. I went on and got all my professional qualifications. And I worked for companies in corporate HR like Rolls-Royce and Airbus, the plane manufacturer. And I'd worked my way up the corporate ladder. And I'd got there and I felt very disillusioned. I didn't deal well with the office politics, the stress, the dealing with trade unions and the legal side of HR. but I loved the people side of HR. I loved helping people with their personal growth, development, supporting them, helping them resolve their personal issues. So I had this kind of inner conflict going on, that there were aspects of the job that I loved and aspects of the job that I hated. But I didn't know how to leave. And I felt like I look back at it and it's so ironic. I felt like I was too old to leave, because I put so much of my life and my past into getting to where I was. And I had, from the outside looking in, the perfect American dream going on. So I had that inner conflict. And at the same time, I was going on this crazy journey through secondary infertility. So I'd already had my beautiful little boy, and everything had been fine with that. I'd conceived him very quickly, almost on my honeymoon. He was born 2 months prem, so he was born at 7 months. I wasn't prepared for that. When I was actually giving birth for real, I was supposed to be in my antenatal class of this is how you give birth. So I was doing that blind, and that was quite a journey, going through that sort of NICU experience with him. Very grateful that I got to take him home. Not everybody did, and I certainly saw things in hospital that will stay with me forever. From there, I just assumed, because even though I knew that I had an underlying medical condition, I've got PCOS, polycystic ovary syndrome, I knew that I just thought, well, I'm going to conceive again. There's no problem. And it didn't go like that. I went for 2 years without conceiving. I did conceive. I was like, oh, wonderful, amazing. And then I had a missed miscarriage. Didn't even know what a missed miscarriage was. And I went through that journey, and I grieved, and was very blessed to be offered a funeral service for my baby by the local chaplain, which was very, very healing. And then got put through the medical system, lots of medication, testing, referred to the fertility clinic eventually, but had gone on this really sort of traumatic journey up until that point, and decided to go over to Norway to go through IVF over there, because it was an awful lot cheaper. You saw the same medical team every appointment. And naively, I thought I could turn it into a holiday and take the stress out of that 2-week wait. And it became anything but a holiday, let me tell you. My body ended up reacting very badly to the drugs, didn't like the drugs, and I overstimulated and then hyperstimulated, and gradually my body just started to shut down. There was nothing the doctors could do to save me. It was just a case of time and allowing my body to do the healing.